Boss rush! And technically they do have different boss strategies, so I have to show them off so you can know how to fight them. If they were literally the same bosses, I would have just skipped past them.
What, like, alright, so what's the difference this time?
Well, he's got a boomerang.
He's got a boomerang attack, and he has the boomerang laser attack. I'll get to them as they show off, because I don't really remember them off the top of my head.
You know, if there's one thing that I can definitely say I like about DMC Devil May Cry, it's the lack of this.
Boss rush?
Boss rush?
Yeah, the lack of a boss rush.
I believe he also gains this attack.
The corkscrew move?
Yeah. And yeah, this is the one during the recording I had about 4 game overs.
Really?
Yeah. Because you have to... there actually is a checkpoint after you beat the bosses again, before you fight the boss of this area. But if you lose all during the boss rush, you have to start it all over again.
So if you die... Oh, I see you bought a whole bunch of lives.
Yep. Because it's frustrating.
Yeah, it reminds me. Have you guys ever played the SNES version of The Adventures of Batman and Robin?
Yes.
Nope.
The boss rush at the end of that game is fucking obnoxious.
This guy's particularly annoying with a lot of health because you can't really combo him, you just have to whittle him down.
Well, it doesn't look like he's all that hard, it just...
At least in this game, the boss rush is only the second time you fight all of the bosses. The only boss rush that stands out in my mind is really obnoxious is Devil May Cry 4, because by that point you've already fought most of the bosses twice.
Yeah.
Why does Capcom love this concept so much?
It pads games.
But nobody likes it.
At least in Mega Man, you can have their weaknesses and kill them in 2 shots.
Devil May Cry 3, the boss rush was kind of clever because the boss rush itself, you only had to fight enough bosses to make this sort of circle appear on a puzzle thing. So if you knew exactly what bosses to fight, you could get away with fighting just 3 of them instead of fighting all. How many bosses did that game have? A lot.
I think it has the most bosses of any DMC game.
More than DMC1, I believe, right?
Yeah.
DMC1 had 3 bosses that repeated.
3 times each, for a total of 9 bosses.
Yeah.
I hate that!
You guys want to know something? Phoenix Wright has not had a single boss rush, which automatically makes it the best Capcom franchise. Woo!
Well, Resident Evil doesn't have a boss rush either.
Devil May Cry 1 didn't have a boss rush, but it did have Nightmare, and every time you fought that, there was a chance you could get sucked into Nightmare and have to fight one of the old bosses to get out.
Rule of 4, bitches. Ugh.
Rule of 4 just doesn't sound as nice. Also, please tell me they at least refill your health after
No.
Do they give you like a burger or something?
Nope.
They don't even give you the little health that Mega Man gives you?
Nope.
Oh god, that's obnoxious.
Nothing? Are you serious? There's
No.
gotta be some...
And you have to do it with a completely empty VFX meter too.
Yep.
So now this is that, that
Holt
with the axe,
Davidson.
isn't it?
Yep. His defense is obnoxious in this version. He gains that sledgehammer throw thing.
Fuck.
Is he a different color this time?
They're all green.
Why are they green?
Come to life. Even though they have the exact same voice clips.
Well, they had enough time to change the model color, but not enough time to turn off the voices.
Yeah, these guys have fucking obnoxious amounts of health.
Was their health bar always green to start off with?
No.
Or? Oh, so they've gotten an entire layer of health too.
They've gotten much more health.
On
more
top.
health, more. It's like, ugh.
You're regretting playing on adults mode now?
Yes.
Well, you had those extra save files. Why don't you just jump to the boss rush one?
But then you guys would complain that I didn't actually beat the game.
Yeah, but now we're complaining that you're wasting our time.
I was in a
Ryan.
lose-lose situation.
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
So, yeah.
Moral of the story: suck it up and deal with our our complaints.
A bullet, yeah, here, take this bullet to the face, Ryan. Don't you dare dodge it.
Why are there treasures in the background?
Because if you go into max speed, he creates multiple of him to do more damage. They will occasionally go into the background and hit them. I've never been able to do it consistently, though.
Ah.
So I usually don't bother. I think it's,
Well, that's
it's actually an upgrade you get in the shop, but it's one of those that's so generally useless I never bother to get it.
What, jump into the background ability?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you can do it while you're in max speed.
What are the skulls about?
Those are basically tells.
Oh, like warnings?
Yeah. Like he's going to do a low attack, so you want to dodge high.
Well, they come a little bit late there because he had already swung by the time they showed up.
Thanks, Gabe.
It was so telegraphed, it telegraphed after the attack.
Can you tell I fought this guy a few too many times when I was losing game overs?
Well, who was the guy who would kill you the most?
This guy.
Really? Oh.
Because he does the most.
You're doing exactly what I did when I was playing as Alucard against fucking Dracula in Harmony of Despair. You're punching him in the kneecaps over and over and over again.
Are you sure it's not Galaboth? That guy's huge.
Well, at the very least, I seem to have him in a bit of a stun lock.
What? Like punch, 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 dodge, one axe swing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not dumb enough to change it. He's dumb enough to
Nope,
change
god
shit.
damn it.
Oh!
He did the overhead chop.
Oh, you got glorious, glorious day.
Right in the ass.
Crotch punch supreme!
Also, he blocks with his axe, so... This guy's fucking annoying. The boss rush is
Yeah.
pretty much the reason why I've never bothered to try and beat the game on harder or beyond.
Because it's just...
It's just bullshit.
Nobody should ever have to deal with that.
How often do you guys revisit games and replay them on a higher difficulty?
Depends on
On a
what
higher
game.
difficulty, not very often.
It
I'm
really
not-
just depends on the game, honestly.
I think it depends on the game for me as well.
Because, like, I've beaten the trauma times, but I always do it on the normal difficulty because, you know, that's hard enough.
Yeah, look how much health this guy fucking has.
To be honest, I'm not that big on higher difficulties in general, really.
Well, most of the time it's not really harder. They just up they either, like Metroid Zero Mission and Metroid Fusion, I think are the worst ways to give your game a hard mode. Because really all they do is just slice your health in half and then give the enemies more damage. That's not really making the game harder, it's just making it more. I feel like most games...
my problem. A lot of people will say, if the game's not hard enough for you, play it on hard mode. But the problem with that is, the only mode most games have that's actually, you know, got effort put into making it balanced is usually the normal mode. Because an easy mode is going to wind up having all of the game's, like, enemy stats and your stats buffed in your favor, whereas all of the hard modes are just going to have the whole game unbalanced in favor of the game rather than in favor of you.
Well, I don't mind that so just in case you just want...
If an easy mode's going to be easy, it's not so much a problem of it being balanced because, well, you're playing it so that it's easy. But with a hard mode, it's a bit more glaring because instead of being legitimately hard, what it's going to wind up being is frustratingly hard, so that it never feels like a fair kind of hard that you
Like,
feel.
the enemies don't get smarter, they just have more health.
Yeah.
If they put at least a little bit of effort in it, sometimes bosses will get a new attack. But
yeah, I'm trying to. I honestly, for the life, pick a higher difficulty. Bosses develop completely new strategies.
I know there are a
the
few.
Mega Man
for
PSP.
example.
Yeah, the Mega Man PSP games do.
Devil May Cry 4, one thing that pops into mind is on the higher difficulties, Dante pulls out his other weapons that he shouldn't technically have at that point in the story. Like, he'll just randomly pull out the Pandora laser and blow you away. But
Yeah.
well, actually, Devil May Cry is one of the few games that I can think of that does it, because they'll instead of buffing shit up, they'll put different enemies in different places. And then, of course, there's Must Die mode, which has the devil trigger thing on every enemy.
Well, the Must Die mode, I thought it was supposed to be the sort of brutally unfair.
Must Die is brutally unfair, but it's not so much that they buff things up, it's that if you don't kill them fast enough, they get a super mode. All of the enemies will become unknockdownable, or
Super armor.
Yeah, if they stay alive too long, where you can't stun them with your attacks. And so they'll just keep on attacking even while you're hitting them.
Why aren't you picking up all the
I'm doing that now.
Well, you've left an awful lot of them behind.
Well, because there's not enough to fill another one if I get them all. And there aren't
Well,
any
yeah.
after this guy, so why bother going for them?
There aren't. Oh.
After you beat this guy, you go straight to the boss of this area.
Oh, so you don't fight Use Its Face again?
This technically counts as the second Alistair fight. I mean, the redo of the Alistair fight.
Even though you're doing the Another Joe fight.
Yeah, because you literally just fought Alistair.
Yeah, that Capcom's one thing, but repetitive is not.
That's bullshit.
Well, at least they're being mildly smart about it this time. Devil May Cry 4, on the subject of repetitive, I think the second half of the game, the Dante half, was supposed to have heat to it. But, well, much like Nero's Devil Trigger, they only really had time to finish half of it, so... Well, in the case of Nero's Devil Trigger, what they did was they took the half a model that they had completed and made it a ghost thing that hovers around you. But,
the whole game, in terms of design standpoint, was just half-assed.
Yeah, well, I think Dante was supposed to have, like, a whole story to his own that was actually supposed to involve explaining what the fuck was up with Nero. But they just didn't finish it. It could have been a lot worse. Like, they could have half-assed the characters instead of the areas. And, you know...
in terms of just pure gameplay, it's still fun.
The characters were done well, is what I'm saying. They could have half-assed the characters and how they fought, and I think the game would have been worse off if they did that than what they actually did.
So controls well, but the areas aren't.
The control and the gameplay is fine, but...
Dante and Nero are both well developed from a gameplay perspective. The real problem with the game is that the second half repeats everything.
It's literally just going back the way you came as Dante instead of Nero.
Yeah. You go through 11 missions as Nero, starting in the town and ending at
The church or whatever.
Headquarters. And then when you switch to the Dante section, you start at Order of the Sword headquarters and head back through all the areas ending at the town you started in. And your fight against Agnes is literally where Nero fought Dante in the very beginning of the game. And then everything after that is...
You died.
Yay, jump cuts.
Why'd you jump cut here, though?
Don't ask me, I got it this ages ago.
When did
Define
you record
ages.
this, actually? Yeah, when did you record this?
I recorded this, I believe, in spring?
And it's probably not going to get uploaded until, like, December.
So by the time anyone hears me talking about Devil May Cry 4, I'll probably have already said this.
Probably.
Maybe.
And just so everyone knows, Lewis is in charge of all things Devil May Cry for this channel.
Even the reboot?
He already uploaded like a couple parts of
sorry, that was so long ago.
As of now, I've recorded 11 parts and I've uploaded, I should say, 11 parts of the reboot.
Somebody Skyped me. Oh, that was John. John Skyped me.
Skype daters. Don't.
spikes and electrical
Electricity.
pins.
Yeah.
Make up your mind, guys.
That's like what Dr. Wily does when he wants to add insult to death.
Yeah, this version of the fight is so annoying because he just runs around the entire time. He rarely ever stays still.
Oh, so he's not really trying to fight you, he's just being obnoxious.
Yeah.
You know, I finally figured out what the treasures in the background remind me of. The rings in Sonic 06 that are specifically placed can never go.
Well, that's because they have to have rings for the other characters. So, you have to have rings that only
No,
Tails.
no, they're just places where Sonic's path glitches away from. Like, he's supposed to be able to run through them, but...
Like that one section in Crisis City where he
Oh,
literally
the
just runs
one-
past it.
he literally runs 2 inches past a line of rings and doesn't pick them up. And it's an automated section.
So there's nothing you can do about it.
He's
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah, he's supposed to be able to get those rings. They just didn't make it so that he
Oh,
could.
quit running away, you pussy. You have like...
Oh,
Oh, he fell into the spikes and killed himself.
I like the C rank label, by the way. Crappy. By the way, can I ask for a spoiler? Does Sylvia break up with you at the end of this game?
Nope.
Also, I just realized earlier I was thinking that Viewtiful Joe is kind of like Travis Touchdown as a character.